See, we'll start now thermodynamics of 11th standard chemistry. We'll pass on to the synopsis now. See, first synopsis, that is extensive and intensive property of the system. See, first we'll discuss what is meant by extensive property, then we'll go to the intensive property. See, what is meant by extensive property? See, extensive property is the property of the system which does depends upon the substance present in the system. Which does depends upon the substance present in the system. Example, you can say that is mass, you can give volume, you can give internal energy, you can give internal energy, etc. These are all the good example for extensive property. Then it comes to the intensive property. Intensive property are the properties of the system which does not depends upon the substance present in the system. So we can give the example, that is temperature you can give, so you can give pressure you can give, so you can give refractive index, so etc. These are all the good example for the intensive property. Next, we'll pass on to the state functions. See, what is meant by state functions? See, temperature, pressure, volume. So these are all to be considered the state functions. Means the functions like temperature, pressure, volume, these are all to be considered as the state functions. See here, state function does depends upon state functions of, that is temperature, pressure does depends upon the state function does depends upon the state of system. Means the temperature, pressure, volume does depends upon state of system. So that is the state function is independent on the path. See, it does depends upon the state of the system, but independent or inversely dependent to the, that is the path of the system. So then we'll pass on to the work done by a gas for isothermal irreversible expansion. See, work done by a gas for isothermal irreversible expansion. That is, the formula is work done by isothermal irreversible expansion, that is equals to minus 2.303 RT. In terms of volume, if you are right, that will become log of V2 divided by V1, it will becomes. Now, so if we need to write, that is the work done of isothermal irreversible expansion in terms of pressure. See, there is an internal relationship between the pressure to the volume. Means how they are dependent? Inversely proportional. Therefore, see, work done by a gas for isothermal irreversible expansion, that is equals to minus 2.303 RT. If you are taken here n is equals to 1, it will become RT. If you are taken n, then it will become nRT. nRT log V2 by V1. In terms of pressure, that will become nRT log of P1 by P2, because the pressure and volume are inversely related. Now, after this, we will pass into, that is first law of thermodynamics. See, what is the statement of first law of thermodynamics? See, first law of thermodynamics says that delta U is equals to Q plus W. Delta U is equals to Q plus W. Here we can say that is delta U is change in internal energy. Q is the amount of heat absorbed by the system or released by the system. Then work done on the system or by the system. So now we'll pass on to the sign conventions for, that is delta U, Q as well as the what? W. See, from the first law of thermodynamics, we can derive the mathematical expression. Now, for the mathematical expressions, we can give the sign convention. On what basis we'll give the sign conventions? For example, see, I'll take, that is delta U is positive. If you are taken here delta U is positive, the energy absorbed by the system here, absorbed by the system to become, that is delta U is positive. If you are taken delta U is negative, so here the energy is released by the system. If there is a releasing of energy from the system, delta U is negative. Is absorbed by the system, the delta U will become positive. Then if it comes to the Q, when the Q will become positive, then when the Q will become negative, we'll come to, that is Q is positive. See, the amount of heat absorbed by the system, then the Q is equals to positive. The amount of heat released by the system, then we can say that is Q is equals to negative. What is the remaining now? There is only W. See, work done on the system, the W will become positive. See, work done by the system, then W is equals to negative. This is on the system, this is by the system. So these are all the sign conventions for the first law of thermodynamics, that is delta U is equals to Q plus W. And what is remaining now? Enthalpy. But you can say the simple definition for enthalpy. See, the amount of heat released or amount of heat absorbed from the system, you can say that is enthalpy. See, enthalpy will represent by the symbol is H. The change in enthalpy will represent that is delta H. See, mathematically you can represent the change in enthalpy in terms of the change in internal energy, that is delta H is equals to delta U plus P into delta V, you can write. So this is the mathematical equation for change in enthalpy in terms of change in internal energy, that is delta U. So this you can write it as a delta H is equals to delta U plus, we can write that is delta N or T also you can write. See, this is the one more way of write, that is the change in enthalpy in terms of that is change in internal energy. Now here from the second equation, I will consider this the equation number 1, I will consider this the equation number 2. So in the second equation there is a relation between the change in enthalpy, change in internal energy, and there is a number of moles, change in number of moles also. Now here if I am taken that is delta N is equals to 0, means the change in number of moles is equals to 0, whole thing will become 0. If the whole thing will become 0, then you can decide here change in enthalpy is equals to change in internal energy of the system is equals to change in internal energy of the system. So next one I will take that is number of moles, change in number of moles is greater than 0. See, if we are taken that is change in number of moles is greater than 0, so this value will become higher than the delta H value. Means what will be the delta H compared to the delta U? You can say the delta H is greater than delta U, you can say. Means change in enthalpy of the system is greater than the change in internal energy of the system. If we are taken that is change in number of moles is greater than 0. Then if we are taken that is change in number of moles is less than 0, less than 0 means this will become the less value now. So if it will become less value, what is the relation between the delta H to the delta U now? So now the delta H is less than delta U. These are all the different conditions. Means here change in enthalpy and change in internal energy, that does depends on what basis? On the basis of the change in number of moles. If there is a change in number of moles, yeah, definitely the internal relation between the change in enthalpy to the change in internal energy of the system get changes. So next one, see as said, only the mathematical expressions for change in enthalpy in terms of that is change in internal energy, and also I was gave that is an internal relationship between the enthalpy and internal energy. See, how do we measure that change in enthalpy? By using which instrument you can arise the question, right? See, before going to that, so in the chemical reaction, mainly you can observe there is a two kinds of reaction. First one is the exothermic reaction and endothermic reaction. This is exo, this is endothermic. So in exothermic reaction, delta H is negative, don't forget it, this is negative, and here delta H it will become positive, that is for endothermic reaction. So now how do we measure it? See, how do you say that is exothermic reaction enthalpy is negative, change in enthalpy is negative, for endothermic reaction change in enthalpy is positive? See, by using an instrument that is called as the calorimeter. What do you call that is calorimeter? Means by using the instrument calorimeter, you can find out that is change in enthalpy of the system. How do we find out it? By using that is calorimeter. See, there is a coming of one formula. By using the calorimeter you can find out that is change in enthalpy, that says that change in enthalpy delta H is equals to Z into delta H is equals to Z into delta T into capital M divided by small m. Z into delta T into capital M divided by small m. See here, see delta H is called as the change in enthalpy, Z is called as the heat capacity factor of calorimeter, then delta T is change in temperature, that's you know that, M is the molecular mass of the substance and M is the given mass of the substance. See, by knowing this equation, you can find out the change in enthalpy of the reaction of, that is maybe exothermic or endothermic. So by using an instrument that is called as the what? Calorimeter. Now, how do we find out that is change in enthalpy, that is in terms of reactant and product? See, delta H is equals to enthalpy of products minus enthalpy of reactants. So this is the one more way to find out that is change in enthalpy. So change in enthalpy is equals to enthalpy of the products minus enthalpy of the reactants. By doing the subtraction of this reactant and product, you can find the value of that is delta H. Then how do we find out that is delta H? Means change in enthalpy of reaction. See, change in enthalpy of reaction is equals to summation of bond energies of reactants minus summation of bond energies of the products. By doing this subtraction, you can find out that is change in enthalpy of the reaction. See, you can calculate the change in enthalpy of the reaction by doing that summation of bond energies of the reactants minus summation of the bond energies of the what? Product. So then there is a one more formula to find out, that is change in enthalpy of the standard change in enthalpy of the reaction. Now we'll pass on to the problems. First problem: when 1 mole of monoatomic ideal gas at T Kelvin undergoes adiabatic change under a constant external pressure of 1 atmospheric in it, changes volume from 1 liter to 2 liter, means you can take it as a V1 and we can take this as V2. The final temperature in Kelvin would be, so they give you 4 kinds of answer. You need to say which is the right answer. See, monoatomic ideal gas, we need to find out temperature. Here they gave that is pressure as well as volume. We need to find out temperature. Therefore, see, somewhere we need to get some confusion here. Everything they gave, they are asking you to find out that is temperature. Here they gave that is pressure also. They gave monoatomic ideal gas at temperature T Kelvin undergoes adiabatic change under constant external pressure 1 atmospheric in it, changes volume from 1 liter to 2 liter. See, we need to find out that is final temperature. To find out the final temperature, we need to use the formula that is T into V to the power of T into V to the power of gamma minus 1 is equals to constant. Gamma minus 1 is equals to constant. So this you can written as a T is equals to 1 divided by V to the power of gamma minus 1 also you can write. Here gamma means we don't know. How do we find out that is gamma? See, while we are discussing about the heat capacity with respect to that is volume and pressure, there we was taken the ratio that is Cp by Cv for monoatomic gas, that is. For monoatomic gas, Cp by Cv has to come, that is the value 1.66 as wrote there. See here, Cp by Cv we can take, that is the value gamma. Therefore, they are mentioning here monoatomic ideal gas. Therefore, gamma should be is equals to Cp by Cv. That is equals to what? 1.6. That you can write in written as a 5 by 3. So, if you divide that is 5 by 3, you will get the value that is 1.666. Therefore, now you can write that is T divided by T final. T divided by T final is equals to V2 divided by V1. V2 by V1, I am taking reciprocal, T by T final, this will become ulta. V2 by V1 to the power of gamma minus 1, it comes now. We need to find out that is the final temperature in Kelvin we need to represent. So that is equals to, So V2, how many gave the value of V2 is 2 liter. We can consider this as V2, we can consider this as V1. Therefore V2 is 2 liter and V1 is 1 liter to the power of gamma is 5 by 3 minus 1. So therefore you can return as that is 2 to the power of, it will become 5 minus 3 by 2. 5 minus 3 by 3 it becomes 5 minus 3 divided by 3. Therefore you can return as a 2 to the power of 2 divided by 3. 2 to the power of 2 divided by 3. Therefore we can write that is, therefore T divided by T final is equals to T divided by 2 to the power of 2 by 3. So this is the final temperature, that is T final is equals to 2 to the power of 2 by 3, but they didn't give that, they gave the value that is T divided by 2 to the power of 2 by 3, means that should be is equals to T divided by T final. Therefore which is the right answer, that is first one A. Seventh question, delta H minus delta U for the formation of carbon monoxide from its element at 298 Kelvin is. We need to say the value that is delta H minus delta U. Here they are saying that is delta H minus delta U, no? So therefore we know that on formula for change in enthalpy in terms of change in internal energy, delta U plus delta Ng into RT. So this is the formula we know. Here we need to say the value that is delta H minus delta U. Therefore delta H minus delta U is equals to delta Ng R into T. So here delta Ng is called as the what, a change in number of moles of that is gaseous reactants and products. Therefore for delta Ng is equals to number of moles of gaseous products, number of moles of gaseous products minus number of moles of gaseous reactant, just substitute value. See, to write the value that is number of moles of gaseous products and reactants, first of all I need to write the equation to form that is carbon monoxide. So write here formation of carbon monoxide, the product is CO carbon monoxide is the gas. To form that I need to oxidize the carbon here. I need to take that is solid carbon plus O2, that is in gaseous state, leads to formation of that is carbon monoxide, means I am burning here carbon. So I need to balance the equation here. There is a 1O here, the 2O, 2O is there here, there is a 1 carbon, therefore I need to multiply by half. If you multiply by half, it will become single oxygen atom, here single oxygen atom. So now number of moles of gaseous product is 1 here minus number of moles of gaseous reactant. You should not consider this in solid state. I am representing clearly here. So number of moles of gaseous reactant, that is only half is there. So therefore my 1 minus half is equals to half. Therefore I can write the value of that is delta Ng is half into. See, they are expressing the answer in terms of joules per mole. Therefore I have to write the value of that is gas constant in terms of that is joules per mole only. It will become 8.314 joules per Kelvin per mole into what is the temperature they are mentioning, that here 298 Kelvin. Here Kelvin get cancelled. Just multiply that is that becomes 1 by 2 into 8.314 into 298 joules per mole it will becomes. If we multiply the value of that is 1 by 2 into 8.314 into 298, we will get an answer that is 1238.78 joules per mole. Therefore which is the right answer here? That is B, 1238.78 joules per mole of that is delta H minus delta U.